welcome to this Week 2 edition of Green Bay Nation. Joining us today to chat all things Packers, he's a radio host on 107.5 and 1400 The Fan, Marcus Eversole, and he's an analyst for Cheesehead TV and creator of the Pack-A-Day podcast, Andy Herman. Great to have you guys back on the show. We have a lot to unravel today, guys. It was a crazy game, Packers, Vikings. It was one of those games that you thought it was going to end, and then it just kept on going into a tie. Packers' first tie since 2013. Wow. Coincidentally enough, also against the Vikings.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It was one of those games where, like, I feel like nobody left the game really satisfied. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought on all phases, offense, defense, special teams on both teams and the referees, the fans, there was fault on almost all sides, and no one kind of left happy, exactly like you said.
All right, well, we kind of want to do something lighthearted to start off the show. So we'll talk about our GIF reaction. So Marcus, we'll start with you.
Yeah.
What was your reaction in GIF form to this game?
So in GIF form, it was like, it looked so good. For so long, you thought the Packers were going to win, and then it's like the Stone Cold Steve Austin reaction where it's like, oh, this is awesome, Packers are going to win. Oh, wait, they tied? And then how did that even happen? You're just like dumbfounded. So the wave of emotions there that's exactly what it was.
And Andy?
And for me, there was only one person that could kind of get this across, and that was Larry David. I thought, you know, there was moments in the game where you felt, hey, we're going to be 2-0, we're going to win this game. Then it's going to be, oh, we're going to go and lose this game, and then it ends in a tie, and you're like, okay, I guess it's fine. So he captures it perfectly.
There was one I wanted to use where it was a news anchor, and he was banging his head against the desk, and that's kind of just how I felt about this one. But it's time now to hear from the players themselves after the tie.
Doesn't feel great. You know, in that last play, you know that it's either an L or a tie. Nice not to have a loss on the record right now, but disappointing. You know, and we had a ton of chances. Disappointing the way it finished.
If you don't win, you lose in my eyes. I mean, obviously, this is a huge game, divisional game. It's going to have a lot of implications towards the end of the season. So, you know, we had opportunities we missed out.
So like Aaron Rodgers mentioned, I mean, this team had a lot of opportunities to win this ball game, and while hindsight is 20/20, if it wasn't for that missed field goal, a couple of controversial calls, a couple holding penalties, and a bad play by Rodgers in overtime, I mean, this team could be looking at 2-0 right now.
They very well could. They also could be a couple plays go differently. They could be 0-2 when you look back at the Bears game. But it's kind of the NFL in a nutshell, and it was interesting, if not unusual, to see Aaron Rodgers involved in a couple of those missed opportunities late in the game. I mean, everything that went on, at the very end, if they can just kick a field goal and win it, and he doesn't fumble,
right,
or he hits Cobb on third down and doesn't take a sack, we're talking about a 2-0 team, but instead it's 1-0-1, which sounds even awkward to say.
Yeah, it's awkward to say. It feels awkward. You'd like to be 2-0. As you mentioned, they were this close to 0-2. The Jimmy Graham touchdown that got called back, the Clay Matthews penalty, the Jair Alexander almost interception. There's so many game-changing moments. There even, you know, a holding call on that didn't get called on Dean Lowry in the game that I thought was game-changing as well. So definitely there were a ton of opportunities, and it could have ended either way. So mixed feelings for sure.
Well, the most talked about play all game was Clay Matthews roughing the passer penalty late in the fourth quarter, which wiped out a potential game-clinching interception by Jair Alexander. A day after the game, the NFL doubled down on the much-debated penalty and said not only was it the correct call, but it'll be used as on the teaching tape sent to teams. So, guys, did Matthews pick Cousins up and drive him into the ground? And what'd you make of the call? And do you agree with the league?
I do not agree with the league. You know, initially I thought it was on the officials for actually making the call, because I thought in no way, shape, or form could that really be a penalty. And then to hear the league explain not only was it the correct call, but it is, by the letter of the law, what they want teams to do, like specifically moving forward. That is what they're trying to rule out of the game.
Yep.
It was mind-blowing to me, so I guess in a word, no, I do not agree with the league. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I don't agree with any of it. I don't agree with the league. I don't agree with the official. I don't agree with the foul. I don't know how you play football if that's going to be the way that it's going to be. I wrote on Twitter, it's kind of a dark day for football when you see that type of penalty called. The only thing I'll say is I'll give Mike Pereira a little bit of a pass, or Tony Corrente more of a pass on this, because I do think there is an angle where he lifts the leg ever so briefly. I think that's the closest angle that the referee had. That's exactly what he's looking at. I don't think it's a penalty. I don't think it should have been called, but I give him a slight pass because they're expected to do that in real time, and I think that's really tough to do.
Well, the question now, guys, is like you mentioned, Andy, how do you guys play football? So how do these players even tackle the quarterback anymore?
They don't have an answer. I don't have an answer. You know, it's Like when you tune into the NFL, you want to see football how you envision football being played. And when the players don't know what they can and can't do, that's a real problem.
For sure.
And that's a problem they're going to have to deal with for the foreseeable future, unfortunately.
Well, I think when Mike McCarthy comes out and he says that this is exactly how we taught it in practice all season long, and that's exactly what we told Clay to do, and that's what fans expect to see, that's what the quarterback, Kirk Cousins wasn't asking for a penalty on that play. So I don't know exactly what you do. If I'm a defender, I'm going for the ball, the ball only. I'm going for strip sacks, and I'm mirroring the player, because if you're going to hit him, you can't hit him high, can't hit him low, can't hit him in the midsection and drive him. So I don't know how you do it any other way.
Well, do it like Mike Daniels and just let up, right? I mean, that's what he did.
I guess.
He had no choice.
And obviously that's a joke, but it doesn't really seem like it.
Yeah.
I mean, is that what the league wants, is for when defensive players are rushing the quarterback to just stop and let him do whatever he wants?
Yeah, just let up. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what else you do.
That's the big question, guys. Well, let's hear from the man of the hour himself, Clay Matthews, a few moments after the game.
I don't even know where to start, to be completely honest with you. I mean, I have so many emotions kind of running through as far as it's just what a terrible call it was. But at the same time, I don't know what else to do. I mean, I don't know. You let me know. Tell me, did I put pressure on him? Because I thought I hit him within, his waist to chest. And to call it, at that point in the game, it's just, I mean, it's unbelievable.
It's time to designate our game ball. Andy, let's start with you. Who do you have?
Yeah, I'm going to give a quick shout out to Geronimo Allison, because I thought he had 6 catches on 6 targets and continues to play well. Obviously, the block punt, but this is Aaron Rodgers' game. To play this well, 42 pass attempts, he got hit all day on the bad leg, scrambled for the first down. I thought this was a gutsy effort, and if you look at the plays that happened, or almost happened, I should say, the Jimmy Graham touchdown on the phantom holding call, the Jimmy Graham almost pass interference, the Devontae Adams pass interference that they called, the Devontae Adams drop on the first play and late in the game to give them a chance to win. There's 4 or 5 more passes right there that he could have had that would have added to his statistics in his game even more. So I thought he played fantastic through the injury against a top defense.
I agree. All right, well, we've discussed a lot of the low moments in this game, but Marcus, who dropped the ball in week 2 for you?
Well, we just alluded to it. For me, it's got to be the officials or the NFL rules in general. I think so often in sports, you try not to blame the refs. It's the easy thing to do. It's the convenient thing to do. And a lot of times it's the wrong thing to do.
Yep.
Very few instances are there where you can point at the refs and say, they lost in the game, whoever they are. And this is just one of those times where if they don't make that call on Clay Matthews, the game is over. The Packers are 2-0. Enough said, done deal. Instead, they make that call, and we're talking about a completely different situation.
Yes, we are, and Devontae Adams is not too happy about the refs, and he wouldn't be complaining if that wasn't the case. All right, when we come back, Aaron Rodgers was able to play against the Vikings on one good knee, but could you? We'll have much more about that after the break. Stay tuned.